Well, why don't we go ahead and get started? And we kind of, I think what the video is about is going around and asking people about stereotypes that Americans have about Brits.
Well, what are you talking about?
I'm turning up the volume so we can hear you better.
What?
To be fair, jeans and t-shirts, that's pretty normal.
Okay. What about you guys? Questions about the way that they look? Did any of you think? A student said she liked the guy in the tie, but then she said, "Oh, that's the teacher."
That's right, I get that. The school is in an area, or a town called Mildenhall, and we do have a US airbase. I think that this is where your president flies into. There's several of us have seen the motorcade once or twice, bombing up and down the motorway not far from me, which is very impressive. And Mildenhall's very close to Cambridge. It's about an hour from London.
Yeah.
An hour from London. We're about 2 hours from the coast. We're in the eastern part of England, and it's quite rural.
That's about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Students in school. What? There's about 1,000.
About 1,000, yeah.
We have years 9, 10 and 11, which is compulsory, and there's about 250 in each. And the sixth form, which, as Connor said, is voluntary. There are about 200 to 250. So
that would be
more in the lowest.
That'd be the 12th year then. That's volunteer.
Yeah. 12 and 13. Yeah.
Isn't it 13 tier though?
16 to 18 is voluntary.
That is very soon going to become compulsory. The government are introducing legislation to say that once you leave year 11, you have to stay on in education, training, apprenticeships until you're 18.
Our grades we're about to change next year. Since our school opened, we've had grades 10, 11, and 12, so sophomores, juniors, and seniors. But most high schools around the country have freshmen through seniors, so 9, 10, 11, 12. And next year we're going to actually bring the freshmen up from the junior high schools. So it's kind of an organizational mess.
And then what are you guys doing next year? Not gonna be here.
Colorado.
What age are you guys and what year are you in?
Well, yeah, these are all in their last year of secondary school. So we would say seniors in high school.
And what age is that?
17 and 18. And then
17, 18.
by law,
That's the age that these are. So
okay.
we've left secondary school and they're at a college.
And our law says, I think if you want to stop school at 16, you have to have parent permission. Your parents have to come in and say, yeah, you're done with school. And then if not, you go until this is the last year. And then after this year, they're on their own. They can go to work, go to college, technical school, whatever they want to do. So this is it for them, for their formal education that's paid by the government.
So when you leave Kansas, you're Lawrence Free State.
Correct.
So when they leave here and they go to college, what is the qualification and how long do they stay in college?
Good question. Who wants to tackle that?
So to get into college, you have to apply, but to be accepted, you have to score, like KU, which is the university that's in our town. It's 21 on your ACT, which is like a big national test that pretty much every student in the country takes. And then SAT, which is another test. And then, or if you pass high school, usually you can get it.
And what would you study at college?
can study anything you want to. There's like architecture, design, medical things, anything.
And so, would those qualifications be similar to our A levels or our degrees?
Yeah, and like I think you take like GCEs or something like that.
GCSEs.
Yeah.
Yeah, GCSEs is what these are finished, and they're now going into their A level. And then if they finish those successfully, they would go on and study a degree. At what stage are you at?
Did you understand that?
Yeah.
What he's saying?
What?
Ethan, do you want to try to?
Well, like the question is what stage we're at,
Yeah.
right? We're in the process of.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. We're in the process of taking the tests, or we already have taken the tests, and we're applying to the different colleges we would like to go to. And a lot of the deadlines for applying are in January or November, and then we get like the decision that the college made if we made it in about April, and then we decide which college we want to go to from who accepted us.
I think there'd be outcry if you tried to get rid of the monarchy, but people just take it for granted.
Okay.
I think the country would lose an awful lot of money through tourism if we did decide to do something about the monarchy. But they stay out of the political. And as long as they stay out of politics, I think they'll survive. But if they're daft enough to get involved in politics, then I think there'll be a little bit more hassle.
I read a poll though last July that said like England had the most expensive monarch, and that a lot of people wanted to get rid of her to save the country money since you guys were so broke.
We are broke. She does take up an awful lot of money, but I think she started paying tax recently. And what tends to happen with us politically is that things get dripped away. So rather than suddenly get rid of her, she comes up with the idea, well, why don't I pay tax? And people say, okay, that's a good idea, she's paying away now. And so it stops people hating so much. She's not hated. She's in her 80s.
Yes, she's just the queen.
She's getting old, bless her. Oh.
You want to ask us one?
I would like to know your opinion on the sort of first year or so of Barack Obama, because the last time we were chatting on email, before I lost your email, is, it was Obama was going for the vote and got in. But we obviously didn't hook up last year, so how's he been?
Yeah, great question. So, what is Obama's perception now that he is president? Because literally the last time that we hooked up with these guys, we had the newspaper the day after the election, and they were cheering, and students here were cheering and stuff, and it was crazy. And so since then, though, who wants to take this one? It's on you.
Well, I see that there's a lot of I lost the word, but a lot of people dislike some of the stuff he does, and there's a lot of more political outrage. And I know that I personally see that he hasn't really done anything due to the bureaucracy of the Republicans are just blocking him from doing anything. So it's kind of dissatisfactory.
Dissatisfaction.
Yeah, I think the feeling is, oh, here we go. Let a student talk.
Okay, this is definitely not how I normally dress. This kind of girls dress this way nowadays with like the UGG boots and stuff. But anyway, I feel kind of bad for him because I think people had a lot of expectations that he hasn't been able to live up to because the situation he has to deal with is just so crappy, and that Bush kind of got off a little bit too scot-free. So I just feel bad for Barack Obama. Like, I'm kind of disappointed because I expected a lot, but I guess I should cut him some slack because it must be really hard to be president. People get all angry at him because he doesn't do stuff, but you have to remember that the Congress is the people who actually make the laws.
And why do you guys think, explain to them, why are people upset? what is the one thing that's not going good?
Economy.
Yeah, it's an economics issue, and economy's bad, so we blame the president. And unemployment's around 10% now, and you blame the president if that's the case.
I lost my job at the beginning of the recession, so I felt it. But I was just wondering, do you guys have jobs like after school also?
That's a good question.
I have a job.
I have a job. What are they telling me?
I run a shop on a Saturday morning, well, on all day Saturday, and then school Monday to Friday.
I'm an assistant precision engineer on a weekend. So I make like satellite bits and bits for medical equipment.
I have a weekend job as well, just Saturdays, Sundays, as a sales assistant.
What shop do you work for?
Well, QDs, but it's like Woolworths.
The biggest thing for us in the recession was the closure of the Woolworth chain, which I believe was an American.
That's right. So, but do you have Walmart yet?
No.
Don't have
We have Asda is our Walmart.
Walmart bought a chain of stores called Asda, and so they are part of the Walmart house or family.
But it's not as good.
Did you say, is it owned by Walmart, or is it just similar?
It's owned by Walmart.
On the blog that we created, these guys haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to make it available to them today. And I'm just going to go put a heading that says stereotypes, and then you guys go on there and comment and put your name, and then that way you can see who each other is, and then you can comment back and forth. And let's keep it appropriate. We're all adults here. Okay?
Good idea.
And then, let's see. You guys have one more question here? We got under a minute.
Do your policemen eat lots of donuts?
Probably. Hey, I would say no.